Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Spa Francorchamps. Welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to the Sim Racing Magazine special event here in the Ardennes Forest. My name, of course, is Chaz Draycott, and I'm going to be here to bring you all of the action on this wonderful Tuesday evening. We've got a fantastic night of racing up ahead of us. The drivers are just out in practice at the moment, and then qualifying will be getting underway very, very soon. I hope you're all having a good week so far. Mine's certainly about to get a whole lot better with all of these guys out on circuit. We'll take a look at how they're getting on in practice at the moment, and it is Johnny Elia that is currently fastest in the 11/10 machine. He is ahead of real-world Porsche racing driver Charles Rainford in the CCK Motorsport machine, and then we currently have Stephen Haley for SimSport Racing International in third position. Spa Francorchamps, of course, a very, very tricky circuit to get right. A lot of very amazing history has been written here at this circuit. Drivers know it inside and out, and they're certainly going to have a good night racing around it. Up to La Source comes Byron Crawford in his Blinds to Go branded machine. And speaking of brands, we need to give a shout out tonight to Heinz Mayer of Crockery Direct. There are 5 medals up for grabs for the drivers this evening. Drivers that finish first, second and third in the race will get their own medal and certificate courtesy of Crockery Direct. And also the safest driver and the driver who gains the most positions in the race will get that. We need to turn the voice chat off, don't we? This is something I always forget to do. I turned it off for the driver's briefing, and there you go. There's a definite insight as to what is going on. We've got Ryan Penny just coming into the final couple of corners. Car 99 for Porsche Centre Chester into the very famous bus stop. Love the noise that these Porsche Cup cars make. This, of course, the 992 iteration of this incredible machine. Listen to it rev. Rev and rev and rev. Ryan into La Source. A little bit early on the turn in. Uses the Astro on the exit. Lights up the rears. And away he goes. Down the hill. Fantastic noise. Fantastic pace. I'm hoping. Nope. I was hoping that the camera would just switch in time to the camera down at the bottom of Eau Rouge and show us a fantastic view there. But no. So far this evening we have 28 drivers in the session. This is Stephen Kershaw, currently 9th in the very striking night and day racing machine. We've got Paul Stout. He's also racing under 11 tenths for this round in the beautiful, beautiful looking Newman livery that Peter Mackay and I get to commentate on every so often. Here's Fausto Pinto in Petrol Tuga. Part of a Portuguese lineup of drivers. His teammate João Esteves also in the race tonight. Whoa, big, big moment for Fausto there. And into the wall it goes. And he lights it up as well in trying to get going again, and that's Peter Brill, who he's just got in front of there. Lovely livery on Peter Brill's car as well, using all of the chrome in the world. And he makes his way around the final couple of corners up towards Blanchimont, the very scary Blanchimont. Good to have Mark Baxter-Jones with us on track tonight. He did say that it was unlikely he'd get in time to be able to race. He had to stay behind late at work, but he is here and he's in. It's great to see him. Who else have we got? We've got Paul Goffin in the Martini Racing liveried car. Lovely looking bit of kit. We've got Oliver Ettridge as well, who's a new name to me. And he's going to be putting in every ounce of effort that he can this evening. He's doing well so far. 12th place, right in the middle of the pack. Through Les Carmes he goes, through Malmedy. And down the hill towards Bruchet. 20 seconds left of practice. And then we're going to have a 20-minute qualifying session, which is going to be what's called open qualifying. So it's not going to be lone qualifying. The drivers aren't going to be out there on their own on track. They're going to have everybody around them. Can anybody dethrone Johnny Elia? Fantastic time there, 2:20.24. And we will remember that for qualifying. See whether anybody can get near that. Oh, lovely pop and bang there from Johnny's car. The session ticks over to qualifying, and everyone will make their way out to show us what they've got. Let's see who's out first. Colin Wynne is one of the first drivers to make his way out of his pit box. Not too many cars in a queue with him coming out of the pits. But down the hill he goes, and it's time to crack on if you are Colin Wynne. Down Eau Rouge, up the hill through Raudillon. Amazing bit of circuit, which is of course being changed very, very soon. And there are trials to change it at the moment. And yes, it is the Charles Rainford in the CCK Motorsport machine. He joins us for this special event, and we are very, very pleased to have him on the grid with us tonight. Into Les Carmes he goes. Bit of a lock-up on the way in there, straight lines it. He's got Mark Johnson, who was just in front of him on track in the beautiful, beautiful throwback livery here in the Legends Racing machine. I think Rainford probably not too happy with how the car is there. He's just pulled over to the side. Here's Oliver Carwadine in the Matmut branded machine. Looks absolutely stunning as well. Lovely looking grid. Here's the boss man, Andrew Marston, car 111, of course. The owner and editor of Sim Racing Magazine. Since starting the magazine, Andrew's done such an amazing job of it. He's been great to work with as well, really supportive of me and my commentary. And he's just been great in general, if I'm honest with you. Issue 5 of the magazine will come out on the 4th of December. So make sure that you keep an eye out for that. And if you don't already, follow Sim Racing Magazine on any social media platform you can find. We have 2 drivers, by the way, with shoulder injuries who we'd like to give a shout out to tonight that are not going to be out there. First of which is Paul Stout. But he is actually part of the event tonight because he is standing in as crew chief for his son Charlie. But Paul has a shoulder injury, and so too does Stephen Haley. Oh, hello. We do have Stephen Haley out there, but he's been saying that his shoulder has been very sore, so we can forgive him if he makes any mistakes tonight. That's basically what he's saying, isn't it? And apparently Charles a Jetta Cup legend. I did not know that. Is that in the Racing Line Jetta Cup? Which has been going very, very well, I must add. So the guys now just getting their times in. Have a look at how they're spread out around the circuit. Or maybe we won't. Oh yeah, because it's, yeah, they've not got positions yet. You can see a big snake of them going through Rouge. I believe it's Andrew Marston that's at the front of that train. It is. A lot of them in the first sector. Car 7, which is Charlie Stout, who we were just looking at there, very much on his own, going up towards Blanchimont. But it won't be long now until we get the times on the board. And we can then start comparing who's got the pace and who has not. So I'm just trying to amend something in the background here as we go. A lot of the drivers are in the Discord chat as well, but they're all currently muted at the moment and deafened. They're not all talking to each other. There's a few of them. A few of them aren't really deafened or anything, so they can all sort of hear each other or chat, but a number of them, of course, getting into the zone and focusing right now. This is Paul Goffin. Just coming out of Pouon towards Piff Path. One of the strangest names corners in the world. With a lovely Martini branded car making its way around the final sector with ease by the look of it. Looks nice and comfortable, doesn't it, so far? This car always does. Carl Sharkey puts in the first time a 2:21.24, exactly a second off the fastest time in practice set by Johnny Elia. Colin Wynn's gone second. Paul Stout is third. That is it so far. We've got more times coming in. Andrew Marston 4.5 seconds off, but I think he let a few people through. Peter Brill has gone off down the hill, that is, towards Bruchet. That's just on the exit of Bruchet. He gets going again. Oliver Carwadine's second fastest in car 80. Good job by Ollie. Just behind him there in car 5 is Danny Jones in the very striking livery that he's brought with him tonight. Up through Rouge and Radion he goes. And down the long Camel Straight. Les Combes such a difficult piece of circuit to get right, especially in this car, because it goes one way then the other very quickly, and the weight transfer in this car, with the engine being right at the back, can be a bit of a nightmare to manage sometimes. So currently it is Carl Sharkey from Oliver Carwadine, Byron Crawford. Then we have Charlie Stout in 4th place, Colin Wynn in 5th, but he's coming back out of the pits right now. Gotta love Danny Jones's lid, by the way. Look at the helmet in the mirror with his cartoon character on it. Gotta love that. Great sense of camaraderie amongst all of these guys as well. They all know each other very well. They've been racing with each other a lot as well in the Porsche Club of Great Britain Sim Racing Series, which I, along with Peter Mackay, have been commentating on since the very start. It's been great fun to do, and we hope that it continues. Up through Blanchemont they go. Ever quicker. Each single lap, it's just scary how fast these guys go through there. As there go more times coming onto the board. Plenty more times on the board now as Danny Jones goes straight on there. You can really see the cartoon character on the lid. There's Colin Wynn, making his way back around. It's still Sharkey fastest though. Tom Slater hasn't put a time in yet in his Jameson branded machine. We've also got Ryan Penny, Johnny Elia, who was of course fastest in practice, not put a time in yet. Then it's Stephen Haley, Peter Brill, Graham Brown as well. He's not put a time in yet in the number 63 machine. The very stealthy, all black, matte black number 63. Peter Brill, he's not put a time in either. Ralph Mayer, Simon Povey. Well, actually, just as I say that, there's another time on the board. Simon Povey, though, in what's known as Lady Penelope now, between Peter Mackay and I. His wonderful pink machine. Simon trying hard. He's also got very characteristic or caricature looking lid. He's got the big shark mouth over his helmet. Certainly trying to take a bite out of the fastest time at the moment from Mark Baxter Jones, who's just gone fastest. 75 thousandths of a second. He's not been in the session very long, but Baxter Jones to the top. Brilliant stuff by Mark. Where's Johnny Elia in all of this? You can see at the bottom the sectors that they're doing. They're black when they're filling up that sector. And then they go yellow when it's not an improvement. Green, of course, when it is. There's a few times coming in at the moment, but no major improvements. As they're up through the order. There was another time put in there. I think that was Slater, was it not? Yes, it was. Tom Slater puts another time on the board. Great job from him. Paul Goffin has just crossed the line, but no time going in from him yet. If we do sit on this pit lane camera, we can see who does come across the line, but it's no use to man nor beast. Graham Brown, though, he just goes and puts his first time on the board. 16th fastest for Graham Brown, 2:24.57. He pulls over and gets ready to try again. Just over halfway through this qualifying session at the moment. Down the Kemmel Straight once again goes Mike Rowe. Still no time from Simon Povey, and he's halfway round a lap again here, so wondering what the situation is with Simon, whether he's just not able to get a clean lap in. It's easy to get incident points around here, and for anyone that doesn't know, with iRacing, if you step outside track limits, you get what's known as an incident point or an off track, and that invalidates your lap. So you do get a telling off and a slap on the wrists for track limits. Johnny Elia has gone fastest. Johnny Elia with a 2:20.5, 4 tenths quicker than anybody else. Incredible stuff by Johnny. 1.1 seconds faster than Oliver Carwadine in fourth. And look at that, Stephen Haley goes second fastest. Great stuff from Stephen in the SRI car, SimSport Racing International. Very, very strong effort indeed, that. Simon Povey, though, look at that. Purple sectors from Simon. Could call them pink sectors. He's done a personal best in Sector 4. He's coming into the final couple of corners now. Are we going to see Lady Penelope go to the top of the times? Goes foot down hard. He uses a lot of the track limits there. It's a purple final sector. And Simon Povey does it at 2:20.0. Goodness gracious me, that's a fast time. Nearly another half a second on Johnny Elia. That is absolutely rapid stuff. Absolutely rapid. Simon Povey, take a bow, son. We've got Mike Rowe, who's improving on his time. He's got 2 personal best sectors anyway. Doesn't look like he improves in the end. Maybe just having an off track as that lap went on. Now Charles Rainford, as expected, has got some purple sectors on the board. He's crossed the line, but it looks like that one did not count. Potentially just an off track. Let's go on board with Charles. Fantastic name if you ask me. Let's see what he can do from here. We'll ride on board. Show you exactly what he's got. Look at the speed of it up there. Over 250 k's up the top of the hill. Still the revs climbing as you go. I was going to say down the Kemmel Straight, but you're more going up the Kemmel Straight really, aren't you? Through Lake Om. You can see him turning it in hard, dancing the car on the exit. Just chucking the car in, getting the front end pointed where he wants, and then managing the weight on the exit. Down the gears. You've got to be very careful on the downshifts in this car. It can really snap out on you. And as I heard drivers saying before in Discord, once it goes, it really goes. When it locks up and it proper bites, it will go around hard. Down Pouon. A lot of speed carried around there on the exit towards Piff Path. Very difficult corner to get right as well because it's such a long pair of sweeping corners. You have to balance the car so well through here. Use the exit curb over to the left hand side, hard onto the brakes again into Arnage. Look at the speed of it through there. Really does go well, doesn't he? I don't know where I got Arnage from, by the way. That's a corner at Le Mans, isn't it? Stavelot is what I was meant to say. But then again, what do I know? Anyway, Charles Rainford currently looking like he's going to improve at least. And there you go, third fastest. That's a hell of an improvement. Charles Rainford goes third, puts himself on the second row of the grid, just behind Simon Povey and Johnny Elia. Doesn't look like there's any other improvements coming through at the moment. 2:22 for Oliver Ettridge. He remains in 13th position, 2.3 seconds off. Now, the race being 40 minutes long will force a pit stop from these guys. They're only limited to a third of a tank's worth of fuel in these cars. We've limited it to 33%, so that will not make it 40 minutes. It's going to be very tight on strategy tonight. They all have to try and figure it out as the race goes on. No more improvements coming through at the moment. Just waiting to see if anybody does suddenly jump up the order. Ryan Penny has improved on his first 2 sectors, but nowhere else on the lap, unfortunately. He remains 19th for now. Heinz Mayer crosses the line with a 2:24.3. Oliver Carwadine is going to the line now. He's currently 7th. He's had 1 green sector on this lap, but no personal bests anywhere else so far. And he crosses the line with a 2:23.9, his fastest at the moment at 2:21.7. Here's a driver we've not looked at yet, Nick Allen, but we need to look, I'm sorry, at Mark Baxter-Jones, because he's done some purple sectors towards the end of his lap. What can he manage as he crosses a line? It's a 2:21.3. A 2:20.3 apparently. That puts him 2nd fastest. Mark Baxter-Jones, really good stuff. So that's 2 of the 11 tenths cars in the top 4. This was the car we hadn't looked at. This is Nick Allen. Now, I've realised as well, I mentioned on one of the Porsche Club of Great Britain sim racing broadcasts that the standard factory colours on this car forces a spec map onto it, which is metallic. So a lot of the drivers get these metallic finishes on their liveries. As you can see, the Mobile 1 branding and then the Porsche name down the side of it with a matte effect on it. Not all of the drivers want that, but the standard livery forces that on the car. So in iRacing, you have to choose a different livery that doesn't have the metallic spec map on it for it to then just show up as your everyday gloss. Johnny Elia has done a purple sector 2 on this lap and a purple final sector. He does improve, but does not gain a position or anything of the sort. Simon Povey makes his way to the line. I think this is going to be a final push for him. Hard onto the brakes he goes. We've got drivers doing practice starts as well. There's Simon out of the first corner. Lasource down the hill. Looks like he's run a little bit wide to the left there, so I'm not sure if he's still going for it. I think he's just saving face and just going hard on one final lap. Currently Byron Crawford just inside the top 10 and just inside the limit of adhesion there. This is a bit of a scary moment going down the hill. Here is Povey. He's not had all the luck in the world in the Porsche Club of Great Britain sim racing series, but he's hoping to change some of that this evening and show just how fast he is. Look at the way this car moves. It's great to watch it, isn't it? Peter Brill is on to improve his lap time. He's currently 28th and at the bottom of the pile. Well, he's set a couple of personal bests. Across the line he goes. It's a 2:29.6 for Peter Brill. And who have we got inside the top 10? Charles Rainford is about to complete a lap. I don't think it's a massive improvement though. Oh, he's wide through Blanchimont anyway. I'm pretty sure that that is not going to count. Stephen Haley has crossed the line and he's finished his session. And the timer now ticks down to 0. Anyone crossing the line now is done for qualifying. There's Barney over on the right hand side of your screen waving that checkered flag. Whoa, hello! Wow. Stephen Haley there clipping somebody on the exit. As, oh, João Estevez has had a moment. I didn't catch which car that was that Stephen Haley hit there, but that was a mighty scary moment. Let's see who it was. Oh, I think he wanted to just clip them ever so gently or just get very, very close enough to scare them, but unfortunately it didn't work out. It's the 101 car. It's one of the Petrol Tuga machines. Wow, oh wow. Okay. Come on, iRacing. Oh dear. Okay. So it looks like the software doesn't want to do this. There we go. Oh. Apparently not. Apparently not. So between sessions, it doesn't want to play ball. So Simon Povey will take pole position from Mark Baxter-Jones. As we now wait for the software to catch up. It is still running in the background, so I'm not quite sure what's causing that issue. Apologies about this, everybody. We will get this sorted. Once the grid comes through anyway, we'll be absolutely fine. So it is all good. As cars making their way into the pits now. And there's a little bit of silence now falls over Spa Francorchamps before the race will get underway. There's Barney still waving the flag furiously. Looks like now everybody will be ready to go. Everyone's pretty much in the pits. Oliver Ettridge sat in the pits. Same with Nick Allen as well, Heinz Mayer. There's a good few of them just chilling in the pit lane while the session comes to an end. We'll try and get it to go back live. But no. I don't get it. Apologies, everyone. Real apologies for this. I'm hoping that when the session ticks over, it will kick back into life. So Johnny Elia, while he was fastest in practice and he did a time not much slower than his best time, he's going to be third on the grid. Simon Povey will take pole position ahead of Mark Baxter-Jones. Johnny Elia and Charles Rainford on row 2. Then it's Carl Sharkey and Stephen Haley, Charlie Stout and Oliver Carwadine on row 4. Then we have Colin Wynne and Byron Crawford with Oliver Ettridge and Tom Slater on the 6th row of the grid. Then it's Danny Jones alongside Mark Johnson. João Estevez is next up alongside Nick Allen. Paul Stout and Paul Goffin make up row 9. I can't believe I didn't pick up that Paul Stout was actually racing. Stephen Kershaw is 19th and Ryan Penny is 20th with Heinz Mayer and Graham Brown next up. Then it's Andrew Soper and Mike Rowe with Ralph Mayer, Fausto Pinto, Andrew Marston and Peter Brill rounding out the back of the field. Well, apologies for the slight inconvenience there with the overlay, everyone, but it looks like we've finally got things ready to go. Let us know in the chat, wherever you are watching, whether you're on Twitch, Facebook, or, of course, on YouTube, what your predictions are. It's certainly been an interesting couple of days watching these guys practicing and getting ready for this race. And now it is crunch time. Simon Povey lines up at the front of the grid. We just wait for Fausto Pinto in the Petrol Tuga machine to get on the grid. And he is there now at the back of the field. So, the very first ever Sim Racing Magazine special event from Spa Francorchamps gets underway. Look at the field fan out there. Charles Rainford jumps over to the right-hand side as soon as possible to make sure that he can cover off any advances. And he makes his own advance down the inside of Johnny Elia. Fantastic, fantastic send down the inside. A little bit of contact in the background. Looks like everybody's made it through for now. Carl Sharkey and Stephen Haley side by side for 5th and 6th position. That's Stephen through on the left-hand side. Look at them up through Eau Rouge and Radion. Amazing stuff. That's Paul Stout running a little bit wide there. Comes back on without any issues. But at the front, it's Mr. Povey, Charles Rainford all over the back of Mark Baxter-Jones. Tries to go around the outside into Les Combes. Does he carry on with the overlap? Nearly making contact. Big slide on the exit as well. Jakub Szymanski on the chat. Good to see you, mate. And yes, watch out for Charlie Stout. It's not supposed to be a rhyme, I don't think, but either way, you are very much correct. The 11/10 car squeezing the CCK Motorsport machine of Charles Rainford down there. He's got to worry because he's got a car right behind him. Tom Slater has got to worry because he's off the road. But look at this now between these guys. Very feisty indeed. Rainford looks down the inside. He wants to advance further forward and go chasing race leader Simon Povey. He feels he's the man to do it. And right now, he has got in front of Mark Baxter-Jones down the hill, but the back end, let's go. He's not the only one. Johnny Elia has that problem as well. Stephen Haley sticks in there with him. Very close stuff with Carl Sharkey at the back. He's got a front row seat for all of this. Great chase already. Ettridge has had a problem. He's just lost a couple of positions. But manages to continue further down. Peter Brill has gained 3 places off the start so far. He's now right behind Fausto Pinto, who's gained 2 positions of his own. Biggest mover in the field, though, Stephen Kershaw so far. 6 places gained in the first 3 quarters of a lap. Fantastic stuff from Night and Day Racing's Stephen Kershaw. Look at that through Blanchimont. We'll have to do a sort of NASCAR style crank it up through there later, I reckon, as the 2 11/10 cars squeeze in on each other. This is the battle for second place as Simon Povey just disappears off up the road. He's like, right, boys, if you want to all do that, I will be long gone. Thank you very much. Mark Baxter-Jones down the inside. Sends it on Charles. Now, what's the slipstream going to be like? Just listen to the rasp of that Porsche. There's no noise like it, is there? Stephen Haley right in the middle of this as well as they go up through the Kemmel Straight. Look at the speed that they're doing up there. Over 250 kilometres an hour. They get to the braking zone at the end of the Kemmel Straight for Lecombe. Keep our eye on the whole field as they make their way down. There's Paul Stout. Ryan Penny just behind. We've got Andrew Marston. No! Andrew Marston's off the road. The boss man himself's had a problem. I think Peter Brill actually had an issue as well. This is Andrew. Oh, car right. Oh, he's had contact with Ralph Meyer. Peter Brill had a moment before that, it seems. Oh, the replays really don't want to work for me, do they? Simon Povey leading the way. I'm sorry about the issues here, everybody. I'm really not sure why it's not working like this. That is not something I've seen before. But Simon Povey leads. Mark Baxter-Jones is second. Charles Rainford is third. And it's Johnny Elias, Stephen Haley, Carl Sharkey still just about in there too. Still trying to get this to work, but still no. Got a number of cars running wide and going off slightly up through Blanchimont. We'll see if we can fast forward it to the point where we catch up with it, shall we? Sorry that this is how it has to be, but we will do it. This is honestly a technical issue I've not seen before. We can keep fast forwarding, but we can only go to a certain speed before we catch up. There we go. See, that's a way of doing it, isn't it? But that is really odd that it's going that way. Anyway, Povey up over the top of the hill on a real mission right now to try and completely leave the field behind. And he's doing a good job of it, isn't he? Ralph Meyer's had an issue further down the order. He's gone off the circuit, I'm afraid. Johnny Elia is having a go here at Charles Rainford as well. Needs to be careful because Stephen Haley and Carl Sharkey ready to pounce from just behind him. Carl Sharkey quite wide off the circuit. Oliver Carwadine, by the way, he's lost a number of positions so far in this race. 7 places lost from where he started. He's got Mark Johnson in front of him. Stephen Kershaw has gained 7 places now as well. Down the hill they go towards Jackie X corner. Used to be No Name corner, but then it got a name. Elia trying to stay in front of Stephen Haley while also trying to have a go at Charles Rainford in front. Looks like Baxter Jones has got things sorted at the moment. He's doing very well indeed. He's disappeared from Charles just behind. And now he's on his way to chase down Simon Povey. Peter Brill is unfortunately in the pits. Not sure what happened to Peter after making a few places off the start. It seems to have gone to pot, I'm afraid. But still, 7 minutes into this 40-minute race. Plenty more time for things to change. We've got pit stops and stuff still to go. Look at that for a send by Stephen Haley. Tried it round the outside into the bus stop. That's actually going to compromise Carl Sharkey in the long run. Stephen Haley, as late as he dared. Just wasn't able to get it done. Look at the battle behind as well. Charlie Stout with Byron Crawford, Colin Wynne and Danny Jones all on his tail. Let's stay with Danny as we go down the hill, because you'll see how these guys all close up in the slipstream. Listen to the lift as they go down the hill there. Holds it on the limiter there for a second as well, does Danny. It's closing over 260 Ks behind. And in front, Byron Crawford still trying to overtake Charlie Stout. But still not able to get through. Johnny Elia has closed right up behind Charles Rainford now. The two of them are glued together as they go back down the hill towards Jackie. It's corner. Rainford says, no, you're not coming through this way, mate. You're going to have to work harder than that. Elia now glued to the back of him completely as they go towards Pouon. Oh, Johnny's just not having a good time getting the car turned in there, is he? He's lost a bit of ground. And Charles can breathe again for a couple of moments. Battle going on here between Oliver Ettridge and Nick Allen, or there was. I think Ettridge just had a bit of a poor run into Pouon himself. Fastest lap of the race, by the way, was done by Mark Baxter Jones. So he is absolutely flying. Bit of a blink in and out there by Ettridge. But nothing too alarming for now. Just out of shot there went Stephen Kershaw, chasing down João Estevez. Look at this. Kershaw is on a move tonight. 7 places gained in this race so far for Stephen Kershaw. On the left-hand side of João as they go towards Blanchimont. They have to give each other room. That compromises the pair of them. Look out for Oliver Carwadine behind. He's going to try and come through this. Down the inside goes Kershaw. He's going to try and get a cut back. Nope, it's not going to work for him there. Who was that going off? I think that was Mark Johnson. Oh, car around there. That was Oliver Ettridge. Sideways out the final corner, but gets going again, all fine. No, Colin Wynne's gone off. Colin Wynne has a moment at turn 1. Not sure if he had help or was pushed. And suddenly it's all kicking off behind once again. Stout there, side by side with Nick Allen as well, I believe it is. No, it's not. It's Paul Goffin. Stout down the inside gets it done. But we need to look at this, because Carwadine has got a mega run on João Estevez down the Kemmel straight, and just behind as well. Look at that, Mark Johnson all over the back of Stephen Kershaw. Plenty of battles going on here. Awesome stuff to watch. Great fun already. And is Kershaw going straight on? I'm afraid he is. Like Schumacher versus Hill in 1995. Straight on he goes. Now back further towards the front. Rainford is definitely the cork in the bottle in this situation. Seems to be remaining that way. Two guys that are close further down are Graham Brown and Oliver Ettridge. He's certainly been on our screens a lot already tonight. Look at the understeer there in Graham Brown's car. There's a lot of lock going on through those front wheels, but it wasn't really turning anywhere. Long lift there from Ettridge. He's just keeping it nice and safe as I go down to Pouon. Not an easy part of the track to get right lap after lap. The car behaves in a different way every time you get down there. There's down the inside. Oh, Graham Brown was having a look on Ryan Penny. Ryan having to keep it nice and safe for now, trying to hold these guys off. I could never get bored of that noise. Look at the run that Ryan gets out of there, though. Oh, we've got a car going down the order. Nick Allen. Nick Allen it was on the exit. He's had a big moment. And he's reversing to get out of the way. And then resumes his race. I'm not going to risk a replay after the issue we had before, so sorry about that. But I cannot figure out why, for the life of me, it was doing that. Charles Rainford still third. Johnny Elia still fourth. Stephen Haley still fifth. And Carl Sharkey still watching on as they go up the top of the hill. Looked like Carl took a lot of the curb on the left-hand side there. He's lucky to get away with a slowdown penalty. Look at that, Johnny Elia trying everything on Charles Rainford now into Lecombe. Takes a different line just to try and have one over on him on the exit, but suddenly Haley is part of this as well. This is the sort of battles you love to see, going very quickly one way then the other. Carwadine down the inside of João Estevez gets that stopped nicely. 11th place is now his. João looks back down the inside. Nothing doing there, and now suddenly he has to defend from Mark Johnson, who's on the attack. They've got Paul Stout behind them. But nothing too disturbing for any of those drivers there. They're all just trying to keep the peace, just go for positions where they can. Just keeping my eye out on the timing screen to see if anybody's doing any rapid times. Charles Rainford actually did his best lap of the race. So I think that's his fastest clean lap of the race without an incident point on that previous lap. Ryan Penny, by the way, is now under pressure from Ettridge, who has got past Graham Brown. Ettridge now starting to put him under pressure. They go up towards Blanchemont. Now it doesn't look like it's even a climb on here really, but it's a very steep uphill climb towards Blanchemont. Car always feels slow on the way up there because of the big incline. And you're still going uphill now towards the bus stop. Ettridge is much later on the brakes than Ryan Penny, puts his nose down the inside. Nicely done. Gets it done at the first part of the chicane and through he goes. Now, is Ryan Penny going to lose out to Graham Brown? No, he uses the curb on the exit for a good run-off. Oh no, there's contact, Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson's been turned by Paul Stout. Oh, and he tries to get back going, and that's Stephen Kershaw that he's caught out, and Ettridge is into him, and Ryan Penny. Oh, Mark just wanted to get out of the way, and in doing so, there was more and more contact. Now, who did he hit in that? Stephen Kershaw. Oh, Kershaw's got damage. Kershaw's in the wall at the top of the hill. He does well to not get in anybody else's way there. Ettridge also was in that with contact. His car looking a bit worse for wear at the front. That's such a nightmare for Stephen Kershaw. Well, we're going to risk a replay and go back to it. Oh, this is when he'd already actually had the issue. Paul Stout was down the inside. I don't think Mark knew that there was an overlap. He tries to go into the right. Stephen Kershaw hits him, then Ettridge, then Penny. Was there seconds with Ettridge and Slater? No, I don't think there was. So apologies for this while we have to fast forward things. But there's your race leader, Simon Povey. He did go off the circuit for a moment. Oh, there is the moment. Luckily, he got away with that one, I'd say. It is very easy to spin up the rears there and have a good old moment where you can have a big accident and go off the road. Now, Tom Slater here was chasing down Oliver Ettridge just a moment ago. Oliver having a bit of a blink in and out. Tom sort of getting his nose down the inside and then not again. We are going to get to it at some point, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go for replays again because I'm not sure what that issue is, but it's very, very frustrating. Now, nearly halfway here, nearly 20 minutes through the race, and Povey still holds on. He's got a 1.8 second gap over Mark Baxter-Jones, who's been a star so far. Sorry about this, just trying to sort that issue behind the scenes, but still can't find out anything about it. There's nothing obvious. Now, wow, look at this. Charles Rainford and Johnny Elia having a great old ding-dong here as they go down the hill towards Brichet. Round the outside goes Johnny, but Stephen Haley, he's going to get a good view of this if anything should happen, and he wants to try and take a position away from them. Sharkey seems to have dropped off this one. No blood in the water for Carl at the moment. Now, Stephen Haley tries to go on the left-hand side of Johnny Elia. Charles Rainford will just be hoping right now that he can hold up Elia enough for Haley to try and have a move. Those two will start battling, and that will give him some breathing room. Here we go into Piff Paff. And look, this is exactly what Rainford wants. Haley all over the back of him all of a sudden. Doing a very, very good job at sticking with him. A lot of these guys, by the way, running the Sim Racing magazine end plates on their rear wings, which you love to see. These two both running them. Further down the order, Ryan Penny still holding off Oliver Ettridge, and he's got Tom Slater there with him. Ettridge and Slater have both lost 6 places each in this race so far. Not the sort of race you'd expect either of them to have. But still, they push on, and they are still fighting. Nick Allen is behind Andrew Soper right now. Andrew in the emergency blood doning machine. Or not even blood doning machine, but the... I'm just going to call it the blood car. Now we've got drivers in the pits here. Johnny Elia is in, Colin Wynn and João Estevez all coming into the pits. Soper losing a place there just after we switched away from it. More cars coming in the pits. Graham Brown in there as well, and Ettridge, so a number of them pitting, but interestingly, the man up front with no car in front of him to slipstream from, Simon Povey, staying out on track. Apologies, I'm still trying to fix this problem behind the scenes, which of course will mean that, as most people would like, I'm actually quiet for once. But we'll continue just to watch good old Simon Povey do what he does best. He's doing a great job at the minute, isn't he? He's led every lap so far. He disappeared very early on at the front of the pack. I'm wondering whether he's going to come in this time round. Through Blanchimont once again. very, very similar times to Mark Baxter-Jones as well over the last few laps. A pair of them have really been matching each other for pace. Will they head to the pits? Yes, they will. Simon Povey comes in and then Mark does as well. What about Charles Rainford? Will he join the pair of them? It's a very difficult pit entry as well here. Look at this. Look how narrow this is. There's a big barrier on the left. You've got to have a quick run down to these cones and then all of a sudden you have to slam on. Looks like everybody is coming in, so pretty sure that Johnny Elia is going to be the man to watch. He's the highest placed of anybody that has stopped so far. Everybody in front of them coming into the pits. Now, is Johnny going to be able to undercut anybody? Don't forget, the ones that are in the pits for that extra lap more will maybe have a second or less of a shorter pit stop, because they don't need to take on as much fuel to get to the end of the race. Povey already on his way out of the pits. That's an incredible gap that he's got there. Mark Baxter-Jones as well. Now, where is Stephen Haley in all of this? Because him and Johnny Elia were close together on track before. Charles Rainford has come out behind them just in front of Carl Sharkey. So the two of them have leapt over. Let's call it leapfrogging, shall we? Leapfrogged. Charles Rainford in the pits. Carl Sharkey is 6th. Charlie Stout is currently where he started in 7th. Fausto Pinto has not pitted yet. He's gained 15 positions in this race. As Fausto Pinto, but he is yet to pit. He started 26th on the grid, 3rd from last. We still have some drivers, by the way, on their way out of the pits, as you can see. 26th and 27th place drivers, Stephen Kershaw and Ralph Mayer, unfortunately a long way down on the pack. Good to see Jack Johns in the chat as well, the Racing Line. Good to see you, mate. Hope you are well. But Johnny Elia now back in a podium position. No Charles Rainford in front of him, just Stephen Haley still behind him. Stephen's been putting pressure on any car every single lap of this race. He's always been filling somebody's mirror as this has gone on. He's doing a mega job of it so far. Now Colin Wynn having a go at Fausto Pinto here. Fausto Pinto's got his teammate as well at Petrol Tuga. João Estevez there. That was very close indeed. Colin Wynn tries to go through on the left-hand side, around the outside into Piff Paff. Does not work for him there. And suddenly he's got the other Petrol Tuga car behind as well. Whoa, João Estevez having a look there down the inside. Nothing doing this time round. Colin Wynn is going to be pushing. Well, more than pushing. He runs into the back of Fausto Pinto. He got that much of a better exit out of Stavolo. Decided to keep his foot in. Gave him a bit of a kiss on the exit. Mind the chrome. Now he's right up behind him out of Blanchimont. Maybe a bit more contact there on the way in. Fausto thinks, yeah, I don't want any of that, mate. You go on through. Let's João Estevez through. He's gone a little bit deep into the bus stop. That means Colin Wynn has a bit of breathing room. Whoa, hello. Hello, Mark Johnson. Off the road on the way up to Blanchimont. That's a scary place to go off the road there. Fausto Pinto now into the pits, as expected. Well, Mark Johnson would have had a very, very scary moment there. Now, Baxter-Jones, everybody, is closing in on Simon Povey. The gap is 9/10 of a second right now. And currently, Baxter-Jones is getting to within slipstreaming range of Simon Povey. These cars aren't massively affected by slipstream, but there is, of course, still some effect. That's just general physics. But Baxter-Jones, considering that he joined the session quite late and he didn't even know if he was going to be here tonight, is on his way to at least one medal. Don't forget, we must send our thanks, of course, to Crockery Direct. Heinz Meyer running their livery. Heinz Meyer of Crockery Direct. A link to their website is in the description. But Crockery Direct's putting up 5 prizes tonight for 1st, 2nd and 3rd in the race. most places gained, and for the safest driver, the driver with the least amount of incident points. You get a medal and a certificate for your troubles. Very nice, pretty medals as well they are, with Sim Racing Magazine branding. Graham Brown is on his way to a medal at the moment. 6 places gained in this race for him. There's a couple of drivers on 5. Fausto Pinto, one of them. The other being Mike Rowe. Mark Johnson's trying to get past Ryan Penny. He's dropped 4 places from where he started. Fastest lap at the moment. Looks like it's going to go the way of Mark Baxter-Jones. It is 2:20.7 for Mark Baxter-Jones in the 11th 10th car. So he's on his way for 2 medals. Simon Povey's going to get one for winning, of course, if it stays this way. We've still got 14 minutes left, Chaz. Don't get ahead of yourself. But I'm just speculating. Look at the acceleration of this car. It's crazy, isn't it? But look at the way that he's closing up to Simon Povey in the slipstream here. Pulls out to the right just to let him know he's there. He's got a lot of overspeed, but this is now starting to become a proper lead battle. Mark Baxter-Jones really filling the rearview mirror of Simon Povey's car, nicknamed Lady Penelope. Now, there's no incident limit or any drive-throughs, but of course there is a prize for being the safest driver, so it would suggest to drivers that they keep it as tidy as possible, wherever possible. Still very close between those pair. Charles Rainford now right in the thick of this with a fight with Stephen Haley. This has become a quartet all of a sudden. They've got a car in front of them actually on the road. And that is Andrew Soper trying to stay out of the way. And he does so on the way into Piff Paff. Rainford all over the back of Stephen Haley. He's doing a great job after coming in to join our wonderful event. Oh no, Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson off the circuit. We can't get a replay because of the technical issues, but that was at Malmedy, or on the way into Malmedy. It was at Lake-On, wasn't it? Povey runs very wide through Blanchimont. Hopefully not gaining too much of an advantage through there. But Baxter-Jones is looking very, very racy right now. I'm intrigued to see what he can do come the end of the race. Now look at this for a view. Stephen Haley with the hungry Charles Rainford and Carl Sharkey behind him. Johnny Elia is some 4.2 seconds up the road from these guys, so he's had a fantastic, fantastic second half to this race. Let's see, who else have we got fighting? Paul Stout, hello. He's trying to chase down Oliver Ettridge. He's about 6/10 behind him at the moment. Nick Allen is chasing down Mike Rowe. These two very close together now as they go up towards Blanchimont. We're nearly 10 minutes from the end of this race. It's gone very, very quickly indeed. Nick Allen through. Lovely, lovely stuff. So, this is Carl Sharkey's view of what's going on just outside of the podium positions. This could all kick off any time now, but Rainford's been a very, very welcome addition to this race. He's been very exciting indeed. The whole thing's been very exciting. Everybody's been battling well. This car always promotes fantastic racing. And we've seen that yet again. Less than 10 minutes to go now at Spa Francorchamps in the very first Sim Racing Magazine's special event here on Chaz Draycott Media. Place your bets now, everybody, because you never know what could happen. At the very front, Simon Povey is only 4/10 clear of Mark Baxter-Jones as well. So this could all change. Every position in the top 6, I'd say, is up for grabs. Charlie Stout. Whoa, as Povey's gone off. Hello. Charlie Stout is some 13 seconds back off the guys ahead, so he just needs to hold on ahead of Byron Crawford right now, and he is good. Fausto Pinto, by the way, has just gained his 6th position. He's ahead of Paul Goffin, so he's actually tied for the most places gained medal at the moment with Graham Brown in the black 63 car. Rainford's still trying everything he can. Every trick in the book. He's on the grass on the way to Blanchimont. Look at that. That was a 12-wheeled Porsche through Blanchimont. Haley defending hard. Look at Sharkey round the outside. Smells blood in the water, quite literally. Still nothing doing there, Sunshine. Great racing, though. Absolutely great racing from these guys. Rainford is throwing the entire book at Stephen Haley, and he just can't get through. It's amazing to watch. So too will this be, said Yoda. Look at Mark Baxter-Jones just reeling us in there. Reeling all the way down the Kemmel Straight. Is he later on the brakes? No, this is Simon Povey. Simon Povey, incredible on the brakes. Has been all season in the Porsche Club of Great Britain Sim Racing Championship. Now what's going on here? I think we all know. It's Charles Rainford doing a rain dance around the outside into Lake Com. Beautiful move. He gets it done. Stephen Haley makes a bit of contact, tries to negate it, squeeze off the line. But amazing move by Charles Rainford. Puts him through into 4th place. That was millimetre perfect there. You could argue that, yes, there maybe shouldn't have been contact on the exit, but he was down the inside. Stephen just wanted to try and squeeze him to the apex. Just caused the tiniest bit of contact, but still excellent racing, excellent move, and Rainford goes 4th. Also, Fausto Pinto's lost a place to Goffin now, so he is all of a sudden not on his way to get the most positions gained medal. Look at this, Haley coming straight back at Rainford. Now he's on the left, he's round the outside into Piff Path. Did Rainford let him go? It looked very easy. I think Rainford's let him go there. I think he didn't want to gain the place using contact. And now Sharky's thinking, well, that's not my problem, mate. I still want to have a go. And suddenly Stephen Haley's disappeared up the road. But I honestly think Rainford let him through there. He seemed to back out and get it stopped on the inside of Piff Path. This is Tom Slater chasing down Paul Stout. Two very, very pretty race cars indeed. I think Paul Stout still has to be my favourite, I'm not going to lie to you. Absolutely gorgeous machine. That livery just suits everything. Of course, Porsche have released a GT3 road car in that livery. Now, more shenanigans because Rainford has passed Stephen Haley again. And this time, Carl Sharkey's going with him. Rainford back to 4th. Haley back down to 6th. But you can bet your bottom dollar that Stephen is not going to take that line down. Should have about 3 more laps to go here at Spa. Down the hill, Eau Rouge, up through Radion. Amazing pace through there by these guys. They've been carrying such incredible speed through there all evening. Look at the weaving from Rainford. Says, nope, you're not having any of my slipstream, boys. And he concedes to the fact that it's written in the stars. Johnny Elia doing a grand old job, by the way. 3rd place at the moment. Absolutely left these guys for dead once he'd sorted the pit stops out. Well, this has been the battle of the race for sure. Here comes Slater then, chasing down Paul Stout. This is for 13th position with a TH, not an F. Look at that, Slater just not really got that much slipstream from Paul Stout there. Oh, but he's late on the brakes, flipping heck. Very late on the brakes, he had to try it. Didn't work in the end, but wow. Big old send on the brakes by Tom Slater there. Massive guts, Sunshine, love that. Less than 5 minutes to go for Simon Povey, and he still has his rear view mirror filled with the 11 tenths car of Mark Baxter-Jones. Mark has been a real stalwart of the Porsche Club of Great Britain Sim Racing Series. And an all-round top guy as well. Very, very quick. Really well improved since the first season. Watching him on the sim, he's got the beautiful livery that him and his teammates carry. Only a couple more laps to go now. We are 4 minutes from the end now. So I reckon 2 more laps after this one. Actually, no, we'll have this one and 1 more. So this will be the penultimate lap of the race. There you go. Never ask me to do your accounting. This is Nick Allen, just on the back of Ryan Penny right now, who's got a little bit of damage on that right rear corner. Runs a little bit deep as well through Stavelot. Up towards Blanchimont. Nick going to try and use the slipstream where possible. You've got to think Ryan's car might be aerodynamically hindered by that damage, and yeah, you can see. Whoa, Nick! Turn left. Nick tried to hang it around the outside there as Colin Wynn's gone off at turn 1. Continues though without any major issue. Nearly goes into the pit wall there. Don't do a Coulthard. But still, Simon Povey. And there's the boss man trying to get some airtime. Andrew Marston, 25th at the moment. He's got the leaders closing down on him. Hello, Edward May. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you indeed. Now, interesting but also boring fact about this race right now, everybody, is that the top 7 are all exactly where they started on the grid. Byron Crawford started 10th. He's up to 8th. He's the highest placed driver that has moved a position in the race. As daft as that sounds. Graham Brown's still on his way to win the most places gained medal. In terms of the incident points, I cannot confirm that, I'm afraid, because SDK, the software that we use, gives us off tracks but not other incident points. Apparently Simon Povey's had 53 off tracks, which in 40 minutes I think is quite disgusting, to be fair, Simon, but either way, certainly used them to his advantage. He's not really gained any massive chunks of time with it though. He's not got slowdown penalties or anything like that, and it does give you them for very, very minor off tracks on SDK, I found. Stephen Haley's got 56. Either way, Tom Slater making his way round. Oh, to try and get around Paul Stout, and he's done it down the inside. White flag is in the air then. Barney waves the flag. Simon Povey has to just defend for 1 more lap from Mark Baxter-Jones. Mark is looking very, very close indeed. Let's go on board with him as we go down the hill towards Eau Rouge and Radion, and then down the Kemmel Straight. Let's see what the slipstream does up here. Povey knows. Povey knows it's an issue. Is Mark going to be able to get it stopped though? It's one of his main overtaking opportunities. Keeps it down the inside. Shows his nose. Nothing doing yet though. Is Simon going to be able to hold on to this all the way to the end? What a great old noise that is though. It never gets boring, does it? Up through the gears. Climbing through the acceleration this Porsche has to offer. Down the hill. He's actually opened up the gap if anything, has Simon Povey. Mike Rowe moves into the top 20. But Simon Povey not far now. He's led every single lap of this race so far. And it looks to me like he's going to complete the job. Baxter-Jones has been brilliant to watch though. Once he finished off that battle with Charles Rainford, he just kept piling and piling forward. And he's had such great pace. I think he'll be disappointed not to take the win in this scenario, if it's not yet to come his way. But it's Povey that leads us round through Blanchimont one last time. Baxter-Jones starting to close, though. He's getting closer and closer. Are we going to see a dive on the brakes? You've got to think Baxter-Jones will go for it. Povey, awesome on the brakes as ever, though. Does he get it stopped? No, he's locked up. He's locked up on the way into the chicane. Mark Baxter-Jones. He's going to do it. The number 8 machine, the 11/10 car, takes the win. Fantastic stuff. Simon Povey second after leading every single lap. Oh, I'm sorry I went supersonic, everybody, but oh my lord. Baxter-Jones wins. Povey second. Johnny Elia third. Charles Rainford, after a fantastic race, finishes 4th ahead of Carl Sharkey. Stephen Haley, 6th place. He'll be pleased with that, but maybe he would have preferred 4th. Charlie Stout, what a brilliant drive for him. Car 7, P7, started 7th on the grid. Lovely stuff. Charlie Stout finishing just ahead of Byron Crawford, Danny Jones, and then Oliver Carwadine is going to round out our top 10 in car number 80. João Estevez is going to be 11th ahead of Colin Wynne. Then it's Tom Slater and Paul Stout, Oliver Ettridge. And then Graham Brown, who's going to be the highest... No, he's going to have gained the most places throughout the race. But oh my life, can you believe that ending there? Simon Povey losing the race win at the very final corner. So he's on to the brakes, into the bus stop. It was a literal commentator's curse on the spot, wasn't it? I said that he's been so good on the brakes the whole time that we've seen him. And there you go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, everybody, because I certainly did. That was absolutely phenomenal stuff. We've still got a couple of cars yet to finish the race, actually. Stephen Kershaw and Ralph Meyer just about to cross the line. I think Stephen Kershaw's just had a bit of an issue, you know, because he suddenly stopped out on track. Look at that for a view from there. Beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. We'll get you the results in just a second then, and we will confirm that we believe that this man, Mark Baxter-Jones, just takes the win on the very final lap. But his perseverance throughout that race and his pace was absolutely spot on, was it not? Very well done to Mark Baxter-Jones. Let's confirm your result then, everybody. Baxter-Jones wins. 0.8 of a second was all that separated them at the end. Simon Povey in a disappointing second place, in all honesty. Johnny Elia third, 2 11/10 cars on the podium. Charles Rainford finishes 4th. Great drive from him. That was loads of fun to watch. Carl Sharkey 5th. Awesome stuff from Carl, very consistent as ever. Stephen Haley, wow, he worked hard for 6th place there. Charlie Stout 7th, Byron Crawford in 8th. Danny Jones and Oliver Carwadine rounded out our top 10. João Estevez is 11th ahead of Colin Wynne, with Tom Slater finishing 13th, just ahead of Paul Stout. Then it's Oliver Ettridge and Graham Brown, who was, in the end, the driver that gained the most places, tied with Fausto Pinto. Nick Allen is 17th ahead of Ryan Penny with Paul Goffin, and then the aforementioned Fausto Pinto with 20th place. He gained 6 positions. Heinz Mayer and Ralph Mayer finishing 21st and 22nd. Thanks again to Crockery Direct for their support of this event. Stephen Kershaw finishing 23rd, 1 lap down. Same with Mike Rowe, Andrew Marston and Andrew Soper. Peter Brill 2 laps down, and Mark Johnson, unfortunately, 6 laps down by the end. Well, what can you say about any of that, to be honest with you? Absolutely any of that. That was so much fun to watch and so much fun to commentate on. We will hopefully grab a word with some drivers in just a moment. We'll wait for them to come into the interview waiting room. But there, everybody, is your race winner, Mark Baxter-Jones, for 11/10. An awesome drive indeed. Just asking the guys if they do want an interview after that one. Let us know what you thought of that race, though, and whether you thought that that Povey was going to actually win it, because I was convinced he was. I mean, you listen to me, don't you? I spent the whole final lap, the last half of the final lap, explaining that Povey did it, but unbelievably, unbelievably, at the very end there, he actually he didn't end up doing it in the end. Now, what's interesting for me is that I can not actually move people into the waiting room. So I'm going to have to try and sort this out. Looks like I can't move people. So bear with me 2 seconds, everybody. I'm just going to sort out a slight technical. Apologies for the wait here, everybody. It's it's an interesting one. I made obviously the broadcast booth and the interview waiting room within Discord for the guys for this evening, but for some reason I just cannot actually move people from one to the other. I think what we will risk doing in general is if we jump into the interview waiting room itself and speak to some of the guys, we'll start with a Mr. Charles Rainford, who had one hell of a race, to be honest, mate. Were you expecting it to go that way like that? Because no matter what you were doing, you always had someone to fight.
Totally. I mean, from my side, it was a fantastic race. So thank you to Sim Racing Magazine for putting this on. It was great. I say the guys really at the front, Mark, Simon, Johnny, had so much pace. I was having a great battle all race. Unfortunately, I lost a little bit of time in the pit stops, but I just say it's more fun on an event like this to be having a battle through the whole race than to be on your own.
Yeah, definitely. And these events, like you say, they are a hell of a lot of fun because there's no championship implications. There's no more there's not a long game to think about with stuff like that. You just go out there and it's all about the bragging rights from one event, isn't it? And I mean, what a place to do it as well. Spa, it's a hell of a circuit in this car, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, these cars feel absolutely fantastic around this track. The track conditions I thought were really fun. The car would just move around a little bit if you started to get it slightly wrong or be a bit too greedy with the power. So, I just say, an amazing circuit, and it proves from Crockery Super Cup in real life, obviously, that just how good the racing is around Spa for these cars.
Yeah, it's absolutely mega, mate. Absolutely mega indeed. But to be honest, coming from real world to the sim, would you say that that's the more difficult of the two to do rather than going from the sim to the real world? What's your perspective on that?
I think I've been very lucky in the fact that I've grown up playing simulators and all kinds of fun racing games, and then say when I first got to iRacing there was quite a lot to learn. I think actually, to be fair, when you go from real life to sim racing, you actually end up losing a sense, which is the feeling through your bum,
Yeah.
So when someone gets into a real car that's already quick on a simulator, there's a few things to learn because the tyres do feel slightly different and the way you drive the car is just slightly different, but you're adding a sense instead of taking a sense away. So I think, to be fair, there's a lot to be learned from doing both. I try to get on the sim as much as possible, especially for training. It's just, it's really good fun, but it's also a really good way to train for a race, really.
Well, I'm glad that you think so, to be fair, because, as I can imagine, you've obviously seen a lot of different drivers that have done the real world side of things and the sim as well, and comparing them is sometimes a bit of a tricky tightrope walk, but I'd say you've absolutely nailed that one, to be fair, mate. It's been a hell of a lot of fun watching you, though, this evening, to be honest, Charles. It's been a fantastic addition to the event. Of course, me and everyone else would like to thank you for joining us on that. Before we
so thank you for having me. It's been, great fun. I'd love to do it again. If you guys hold this event again, I'll be straight in.
Well, I look forward to that greatly, mate. Before we let you go, do you want to give anybody a quick shout-out?
I'll give a shout out to my parents who are watching the stream, so thank you to them, everyone else who's watching the stream. Just a big shout out as well to Stephen Haley for creating my real life livery on 992. Very, very, I'm absolutely so happy with the livery. It looks awesome. To be driving my own car in an event like this is just, it adds something extra, and thank you to you guys for putting all this on,
Smashing stuff. Well, thank you very much, Charles. Great to speak to you, mate, and we look forward to seeing you again. Cheers.
Indeed.
And next up, we will have a very quick chat with the eventual race winner in that one, Mr. Baxter Jones. I mean, we knew that you were flying up towards our race leader by the time that race was coming to an end. Did you expect to take the win when the flag dropped?
I honestly thought I'd thrown it away. I was biding my time, and trying to follow Simon is so bleeding difficult. He's such a quick driver. and I honestly thought I had the one and only chance at the end of the Kemmel. But fortunately, I got a better grip coming out into Blanchemont, and small mistake by Simon allowed me to sneak through. So yeah, happy with it, and absolutely brilliant racing.
It certainly was, mate. The drive forward that you had once you cleared Charles and the rest of the guys, it was just mega to watch the movement that you had. And to be honest, I was sort of praying that we'd see this massive send at the end, or like a last lap gasp, just to really throw some drama in it. But the drama came from Simon's side as well. We've spoken before about this car being difficult on the brakes. Do you think that it's just down to a bit of that sometimes, that no matter how quick you are, it can catch you out?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think in this race in particular, the car was sliding all over the place. It was hard to brake. It was hard to get the power down. It was hard to turn. So yeah, it was a proper challenge today, and I like to think I was pushing Simon that little bit extra just to let his tyres go down a little bit. So, but yeah, over the moon.
Well, it was very, very hard work for you, mate, and you've absolutely nailed
absolutely.
it. Is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to before you go?
I guess Andy and Colin for setting all this up, and yourself. And obviously Johnny and the guys at 11 Tenths for all the practice, and absolutely all the support they've given. So yeah, really happy with it. Thank you.
Beautiful stuff. Your race winner, Mark Baxter-Jones, everybody, doing an absolutely awesome job throughout that one. And our final chat of the night will be with the driver of Car 7, which started P7 and finished P7. It's son, of course, of Paul Stout. Charlie Stout. Charlie, that was a lively race, to say the least, from where you were. There was always somebody around you, wasn't there?
Yeah, I was really struggling to keep Byron behind me, because I think he was 0.4 seconds off, like, each lap, and I was just defending for my life every single lap, and he kept it respectful, so I thank him for that. Didn't make any lunges or anything, which I was very pleased with, but yeah.
It's not an easy place to defend either, especially with all of the slipstream that you have down likes of the Kemmel Straight and up towards Blanchemont as well. It's always a place where you've got to watch your mirrors, haven't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was actually running my wing on 5, so I had a massive slide on the first lap, and I think Oliver was behind me, but I think he later crashed, unfortunately. But I think the wing definitely helped me keep the gap to Byron, so yeah.
And what's your opinion of driving this car overall when it's on the edge? Do you feel like it's a bit twitchy, or do you feel like you get good feedback from it when it is going to let go and have a moment?
Well, if there is any feedback, I'm not feeling it, because unfortunately I've only got a G27 wheel, which always clips, so you never really feel what's going on with the car. So it's more or less visual when you're driving, for me at least anyway. But yeah, like I said, because I only have 5 wings, it's so difficult trying to go through some of those complexes and keep it steady.
Yeah, well, to be fair, mate, I massively respect the fact that you did that on a G27, because I used to have a driving force GT, and I know how horrible the world can be when you've got very little feedback from it. So
yeah,
hats off to you for being able to do that.
Thank you.
Are we likely to see you again in this sort of event then, if we do some more of these?
Hopefully. I'll talk to my dad about it. Maybe he can squeeze me into some more races. But yeah, that's something I'd like to do in the future.
Well, we look forward to hopefully seeing you again, mate. Is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to before we go?
Yeah, my dad. He helped me practice throughout the weekend leading up to the race. Really helped me. I don't think I would have finished as far up the grid without the practice. And also Gilles, in the Discord, he made me my livery. It's the Road to Le Mans livery that Michael Fassbender runs in those episodes. So I'm grateful for that.
Looks absolutely mega on the car, mate, and you did a smashing job with it as well. But thank you very much for joining us, Charlie. We hope to see you again very, very soon.
Yeah, thanks.
Cheers.
See ya. Bye.
Charlie Stout there, everybody. We are just going to sneak in a couple more interviews very quickly here. A man that had to defend for his life in that race and seemingly would have been driving his mirrors the whole time. Stephen Haley. Stephen, I really don't know how you did that, mate, but I bet it was one of two things. It was either really enjoyable or a massive, massive stressful workout. Which did you find it to be?
A bit of both, to be fair.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, thoroughly enjoyable. Absolutely fantastic to be racing kind of where I were. I think I started 6th, so to finish 6th weren't too bad. But to battle with some of the guys who were generally probably faster than me normally was fantastic. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
And what do you make of this car and this track combo as well? Because I mean, Porsche 911, it's a legendary bit of kit anyway. The newest iteration is an absolute gem, but of course Spa Francorchamps as well. A lot of history written there as well. It's certainly a powerful combo, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, the 991 I absolutely loved, and the 992 I'm a massive fanboy of. Absolutely beautiful car, and it feels great in the sim. Not really raced Spa too much, to be honest, in iRacing, but it you know, with the right setup, it just feels really, really nice.
It certainly looks like this car handles a lot of it very well as well. You've just got to sort of balance it on corner exit and make sure you get a good run everywhere, as is one of the main principles of motorsport. But in a car like this, you can really make it dance, can't you?
Indeed, the way you've got to drive this car is a very fickle car to drive, should I say.
Yeah.
You know, coming off the brakes and going onto the brakes, off the brakes, onto the throttle. You've got to be really, really smooth and tentative with it, and you know, not to make sure that you kind of over rotate. Otherwise, you just lose the back end. But you know, on the fast left rights and right the chicane. I can't remember what the corner's called now, but. I was over rotating into the right hand side before coming back into the left. Then I've eventually got it before the end of the race, but by that point I'd already had a slowdown. You know, after jumping Charles at the pit stops, I thought I was on for a fantastic, good, a better result, but ended up getting a slowdown, so I had to kind of give it back. And I think he was running a lot less wing than I was, and managed to get me down the Kemmel straight. But a nice little bit of door banging as well with Charles, which I really enjoyed.
Oh, that's good stuff, mate. Good stuff. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And before we let you go tonight, Stephen, is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to?
Yep, Andy Marston, the mastermind behind Sim Racing Magazine, and everybody involved in putting this show on, yourself, Chaz, and my wife, Charlotte, and my 2 little boys, Connor and Fred.
Smashing stuff. Great to speak to you, Stephen. Well done tonight, mate, and we'll see you again very soon, hopefully.
Cheers, Chaz.
Cheers. And of course, how could we have this evening without, of course, rounding out with a chat with the boss man himself. Andy Marston joins me in the box. That was probably, I say we exceeded expectations tonight, mate. What do you reckon?
It was incredible, wasn't it? I just can't wait to watch the replay back. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, it was so enjoyable. I've just been in chat with the drivers, and everyone really enjoyed it. So, yeah, really good stuff.
And what did you make of the racing round there tonight? It didn't look like an easy place to get the car around, even though, you know, sometimes Spa is a track a lot of people have a lot of knowledge of, but there are certain drivers out there. I mean, there were some of them ahead of tonight really saying that they don't know it too well, which surprises me.
It did me, because everyone, what I could see anyway, handled it really well. I think I was sort of 26th or 25th place, so everyone was ahead of me. So you know, they knew the track really well. But it's an incredible circuit. It's great to race here. And it's just been so enjoyable this evening. I just wanted to thank you as well, Chaz, because you've put so much work into putting this stream together. I just can't thank you enough, really, because it was all new to me, putting this, you know, trying to come up with the idea, but actually producing it was really down to you. So I appreciate that.
No, thank you very much, mate. You're very welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure to do, and hopefully going forward we can do more of it, because it seems like it's been well received in the chat and in the Discord as well. Final words though, really, it's been a mega night. We've obviously got medals and certificates to give out to certain drivers once we are done here, but any final words from you before we sign off?
No, I think we're talking about in the drivers' chat. Everyone wants to do more of this, so hopefully in the new year we can put a package together. So we've got a championship. That's what we're going to be looking into next. Is putting a championship together. So yeah, but it's been a great night. Really enjoyed it, and again, thank you for everybody who's joined the league and wanted to race tonight.
Cracking stuff. Well, great to speak to you, Andy, and it's been a pleasure to work with you, and I look forward to what we can do in the future. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks, Chaz. Thank you.
Cheers. There you go then, everybody. The boss man himself, Andrew Marston of Sim Racing Magazine. What a brilliant night of racing we've had in this special event. Simon Povey led pretty much every lap of the race, but eventually it would be Mark Baxter-Jones that would take the win at the final corner. Great stuff to watch, very enjoyable to broadcast, and we hope that you have enjoyed it too. Keep your eye out on any of my social media and of course on YouTube as well for future broadcasts with Sim Racing Magazine. For now, everybody, have yourselves a good evening. We'll see you soon.
Hold you close, now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain.